Hey guys, welcome to another video, Purple Political Talk here. Today is Monday, September 27th, 2021, and today we're going to be discussing the shocking 2021 Virginia governor election and discuss what does this close election mean, not only for Virginia, but for the nationwide aspect, but also what is really going to happen in this election, because over the last couple of days, it's become really close. But before we do begin this video, I want you guys to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to be up to date with our latest content. And also remember that channel memberships are now open. If you would like to become a Purple Political Talk channel member, you could do so by pressing the link down in the description or the join tab next to the subscribe button. And in that spirit, I did want to give a very big thank you to our Purple Political Talk channel members, David Axwell and Adam Hurst. We really could not do this without you. But now that we've gotten all of this out of the way, let's get started with the video. So the Virginia governor election has become close, and I think it comes down to a lot of different factors. So first of all, we're talking about a race between, I would say, two moderate establishment candidates, if you could call them that. Terry McAullife has been in Virginia politics for years and years. He's been governor. He's very big amongst the Democratic Party because he has very good fundraising, opportunities and things like that. That's why he was such a big figure in the Democratic Party back in 2016. And for those of you that do not remember, he was in the consideration to become Hillary Clinton's running mate. Now, we're also looking at a race with Glenn Youngkin, who at this point in time is someone who comes in as a moderate fiscal conservative that wants to really, turn the Virginia economy in a different way. And that message is resonating with a lot of voters. As we can see on this poll right now, we can clearly see that, Glenn Youngkin is having a rise in polls, right? So in this race, we've seen how the election really shifted last couple of days. And, I think it's important to note that, the shift is important because we saw a point in this race when they first started taking polls where Terry McAullife was leading and blowing Glenn Youngkin out of the water, 6, 7, 8 points, which for any race, I would say is a pretty comfortable margin. Now, as time has progressed, things have gotten closer, and I think a lot of things have to do with this. First of all, I think that Glenn Youngkin's messaging is pretty good for the state of Virginia. He has several key Republican endorsements. For example, Donald Trump. And he's also has, the task of appealing to actually a state that is rather more liberal and, in the moderate Democratic area of the spectrum. And again, this is no easy task for any Republican in the present day of age because, Republicans have been doing worse in Virginia since Donald Trump got elected to office just because of the more moderate sense of Northern Virginia. But Glenn Youngkin has been able to do something that a lot of Republicans have not been able to do, is get some of the Trump messaging, but take it in as a moderate. And I think it's something that he's been able to do with great success. And we can see this. I mean, a lot of these polls that we're seeing right now, a lot of the average that, is closening up a little bit. It's because we do have that one poll from September 22nd, which is the last poll we have from this race, has been released onto the FiveThirtyEight website. We see that Glenn Youngkin had one poll amongst likely voters, which is important. There is an importance between what you see in these polls. The polls that are usually the most accurate are the ones from likely voters, because likely voters are those who are actually likely to turn out and vote. It's great if you have, 10% support, or actually, you're leading by 10% support amongst adults. But if those adults are not the ones that are going to go out and vote, that support means nothing. So that's something that's important. In this poll that we got released, we got the adults, registered voters, and likely voters. McAuliffe leads by 5 in the other two categories, but Youngkin leads by 5. And I think that gets me to my next thing, which I think we're going to have a lot of, Republican. I think there's a lot of things. We must remember the nationwide environment right now. The Democrats are not in a too hot of a position based on where the economy is right now. And there are many things that could be argued. And I think it's important to say, yes, a lot of the economic issues that are happening right now in the country, they're based of COVID-19. But at the end of the day, Biden is president and Biden's party is going to take the hit. The same way that Donald Trump took the hit for the economy, I guess, when it came to the 2020 election. And, as we go down and we see polls further away from today, we're seeing how, Terry McAullife has had, a pretty consistent lead. And I think in certain ways that is really, getting out of hand for him. I think it's something that is rather important. So, and I think at this point in time, we're looking at a race that really shows how important, a lot of the, current, political situation in the whole country is, and how that could really impact state by state races. And I think that reality cannot really be undershadowed. So I think it's something that's very important. And I think at the end of the day, it's something that we should definitely take a look at. But now I did want to take a look at, this gubernatorial race from 2017 from the state of Virginia, which is really important. So as you can see here, incumbent Governor Ralph Northam did win that race. And I really do want to look at the geography of why, because that's very important. So as we can see here, he won by a margin of nearly 9%. So that's a pretty respectable margin, especially at that point in time where Virginia really wasn't as democratic as it is today. I think it was this election that really shifted Virginia into being that, deep blue, state rather. And we can see here the geography. Southern Virginia, it really turned out for the Democrats, and Northern Virginia, the Republicans were blown out. I mean, it was really bad for them. And I think when you come and look at the 2021 race, we're really looking at a race where if the Republican Party wants to win or have any reasonable shot at winning, they're going to have to do well in Northern Virginia. And I mean, maybe not necessarily will win those counties because, again, it's not the easiest of things to do, but they're going to need to, be able to win, or not win, but get closer. I would say 5, 6, 7%, 8% closer in a lot of these counties. In certain of them, they're going to have to do more. And I think it's not impossible based on Glenn Youngkin. And I think they're going to have to do, they're going to have to win down here in the Republican parts by even more. These are areas that are going to have to vote even more and more and more for the Republican Party. And Southern Virginia, which is an area the Republicans did moderately well in 2020, they're going to have to improve in those areas. And I mean, basing on where the state is right now geographically and things like that, and if this was any normal election where the situation of the country isn't what it was today, I would easily tell you that this is an easy blowout for, Terry McAullife. He can easily beat any Republican that runs against him. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. He was the former governor. He has a lot of these things that, I think a lot of people do not have. So I think it's something that is very important to know. And I think that COVID-19 is something that really changed this race. And looking forward at the midterms, I think this might be a good sign to tell us how important is going to be COVID-19 as an issue. Again, I guess that the situation could be different in a year, but who knows, because COVID is something that rapidly changes and we really don't know what's going to be happening. However, I will say that in this race, it's been pretty clear that it's been an important issue. And, the Republicans have been doing a good job at taking this issue. With all of this being said, when you come and ask me, Purple, what is your prediction for this race? As of right now, and again, we have a month until the actual race, or, around a month. If you ask me today, I will still give the victory to Terry McAullife. Now, I would say that it's a lot closer than a lot of people would expect. I don't think that we're looking at the same blowout margins that were expected at the beginning of this race. +7, +5, plus, that kind of a general region for Terry McAullife. I think we might be looking at somewhere around +3, +2. And I think it could get really close if, the McAullife campaign doesn't take it seriously or more seriously. And they clearly have, because they've started taking it more seriously because there's actually, an exponential threat towards their campaign. And there's a lot of things still in the air. We still have some debates left. We still have some important events in the campaign left. And, at this point, there's a lot that could happen. Things change. Remember, politics is a fast-moving sport. Anything could really happen. But that's it. That's my analysis for the Virginia's governor race. And we're going to have probably one more analysis before the race. And I'm likely going to cover this race when it comes to, the 2021 election night. I will take care of that, live stream. And I'm really excited for this race because it's going to be one of the more important races we've had in a while. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If so, please give it a huge thumbs up, like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to be up to date with our latest content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good.